Good morning, Patriots. I am really excited to be here for an episode of the Red Revival. Of course, I am your host, Stephanie Donegan, and today I want to just hit on a couple of topics that I think should be important to Patriots and really Americans as a whole. So imagine my surprise when I woke up this morning and I saw that the Wall Street Journal put out a report that says Americans are finally feeling better about the economy. Which Americans were they speaking to? I mean, not being funny, not being petty, but no, really, who did they talk to? They didn't talk to me, and I'm considered a pretty successful American. They didn't talk to anyone that I know. As a matter of fact, just yesterday, I posted a TikTok saying that I went through my 2023, the same bills. What did you pay for your household bills? What did you pay for food? What did you pay for travel? And I went through the same bills, and it's more than double the year before with the same bills. Who did they talk to? I'm just curious. They went on to say that basically since 2021, Americans have not felt as excited about the economy as they do right now. Now, I might have to put my mental Rolodex thought process on to dig into this. But when I think about 2021, we were on the heels of BLM, which we know the foolishness of that. So Americans didn't feel great about the economy at all, except for the ones who are getting all the free money that was floating around the US. Now, I want to know, what are they ecstatic about right now? Are they ecstatic about the food prices doubling and sometimes tripling? Are they ecstatic about our hair care and skincare doubling and tripling? Are they ecstatic about gas prices or electric prices? What exactly are Americans now ecstatic about? The article did not go on to explain that. And I really feel like Wall Street Journal. Now, for those who don't know, my first degree is in broadcast communications. I first went to school for broadcast communications at the University of Alabama, Birmingham, and I used to love journalism, but I can tell you, working directly in the news station, that you talk about what they want you to talk about. And just like Congress, and how when you're running for Congress, and once you even get the job, you have to work to please your constituents. It's the same way when we're talking about magazines and newspapers and news shows. Who's watching? Who's my ideal client? And who do I need, or what do I need to say to appease and please them? Guys, this is a lie. This is a farce. This is a lie. It is no way Americans are now feeling better about the economy when prices are higher than they ever have been. So we really need to kind of watch out for that, and don't be fooled by the media. Really pay attention to what people are saying, the people, not just the media. As a person who has dealt herself with the media taking their story and twisting it into what they wanted it to be, I can promise you, you cannot trust the media. Listen for yourself, read the studies for yourself, go to the town halls and the debates for yourself, get on government websites and read the policies and the laws for yourself. Do not listen to the standard media, because they lie. Okay. Next thing, which would be the last thing that I want to cover for today, because of course I love to keep these episodes short, because I think it's one of the beautiful things is when you can come in, you can get what you need, and you go on about your day. So yesterday was Nikki Haley's town hall in New Hampshire. Did you get a chance to catch it? If not, I am highlighting 5 things that have stood out, and actually more than that. And I'll probably talk about that over on TikTok. Okay. A little bit of this and a little bit over there as well. Okay. So I want to highlight 5 things that stood out to me first off. Now, for those who found this show via TikTok, or maybe my commentary elsewhere, one of the things that irks me to the core is how race is used to manipulate the general public when it comes to politics. It is a problem. It is a problem because the idea of racism, is what's sold to the American public to guilt them into voting a certain way. We use racism and not actual policies. And that's a problem for me. But I never really thought I was going to see it within the Republican Party. It's one of the things that I prefer about the red wave. It's one of the things that I love about our beautiful community over here is we focus on facts. We don't focus on feelings. And here goes Nikki Haley. Now, I'm going to tell you something that a lot of people probably don't want to hear, but initially, I really liked Nikki. I like some of her points, but she said some things that have been kind of disturbing, like raising the retirement age. No, we do not need to do that. So it's been a few things, but overall, I liked specifically her foreign policies. And so it was shocking in the town hall. And like I said, it was a few things that really stood out to me when the conversation came up of Trump and his racist dog whistles. Now, I hate that term. I absolutely hate that term. But she was asked about these racist dog whistles. And what she said is, this is what Trump does whenever he feels threatened, he goes low. So apparently earlier this month, Trump had promoted a post that stated that Haley was not eligible for the presidency because her parents were not citizens at the time of birth. Here lies the problem, though, is your parents don't have to, our rules here in the United States is your parents don't have to be citizens. But if you were born in the United States of America, you are a naturalized, natural-born citizen, and she was actually born in South Carolina. Now, we could just say, like, somebody told him that. So the facts were told incorrectly to Trump. Trump did not go, and I actually love Trump. A lot of people don't. I love Trump. Trump did not go research this. This is what teams are for. This is when you're in business, when you run politics, you have teams. This is what teams are for. Someone brought him that information. But I don't think him saying that was racist by any means. Now, just out of curiosity, I decided to explore some, Fox, and which I like Fox. Actually, I don't really like any of the media, but out of all of them, I lean towards Fox. But I looked at CNN and NBC just to see what other people had to say about this. And they actually applauded her because they said he did the same thing to Barack Obama when he said that he was not a citizen. Now, if these are like, I don't think this was racist. It was, they were not, he said they weren't citizens. He was born in Hawaii, but Hawaii is a territory. He is a citizen. We know that. We moved on from that. And this is my thing to Nikki. Girl, if you were born in South Carolina, we don't have to go down this racist rant. And then she went on that racist stance of him doing this when he feels threatened, and other names that he has called her that was racist, which, again, racism exists in America. I don't think that is racism. Which is interesting because another point that stood out was that Nikki said that she does not believe that America has ever been racist. Now, as a highly melanated woman, as you can see if you're on YouTube or if you've seen me anywhere, I'm a highly melanated woman. It's one of the things that make me stand out, weirdly enough, as a conservative. And I don't believe currently racism is the biggest issue in the United States of America. I do think to say it's never been a racist country is a little bit too far, because that is untrue. But we are no longer a racist country. We are no longer moving on those principles. Now, her point was that if you look directly at what the United States was founded on, it was that all men were created equal. And I fully get that. But here's the piece that she's missing, which is why I almost feel like she just needs to leave the topic of racism alone, because she's playing two games. On one hand, Trump's racist. You want to holler racist, racist, racist. On the other hand, you're like, racism was not a thing. America wasn't racist. This is what she fails to realize. yes, all men were created equal. And at that time, highly melanated individuals were not seen as people. They were seen as property, as animals at that time. So that conversation did not fit for people who at that time were slaves. So it's really just a topic. Whenever we start talking about that, I feel like she fumbles. There is nothing wrong with admitting where America has fumbled. America's a great country. I feel like we have fumbled the ball and we got back up and we ran with the ball. We have absolutely fumbled. And we are a country of people, meaning human. We will fumble again, prayerfully not in the same way, but we will fumble a ball because we're a country of people. The beautiful thing about America is when America realizes its mistakes, we get up and we work to not fumble that ball again. And I don't think anything's wrong with admitting what the truth was. And then let's just move on, because that's not the country we are anymore. We are a country who's focused on Americans as a whole living the best life. We should be a country focused on protecting our borders from illegals coming in. We should be a country focused on our right to bear arms, which one day I'll do a show about my thoughts about that as a arms-toting woman myself. We should be a country focused on having the best economy possible. We should not be a country that's still having this conversation about racism today in the way that it's being had, as if that is the biggest issue that is in the United States. I said this before and I will say it again. Are there racist people? Yes. Does that equate to the vast majority of people? Absolutely not. Are people ignorant? Yes. And that's of any race or ethnicity about people who they don't understand. Ignorance. And let's move on. So it was interesting on how one hand she wants to scream Donald Trump is racist and uses racist rhetoric, but on the other hand said America has never been racist. So, it's the talking out of both ears, even though you don't talk out of your ears, you're talking out of both sides of your head. That's weird to me, because pick a lane, pick your truth, let that be the truth. Okay. Next is Haley's take on Trump and Biden. Now, really what's interesting, and it's always interesting to me about these debates and town halls, is how much time I think these candidates spend talking about their opponents, when really what most Americans are interested in is our country and what are you going to do different for our country. And I also blame the host and the moderators of the debates, because they ask these questions, which are questions that actually don't get Americans any closer to the answers they really want. It just stirs the pot. And this is why America right now, we're in an interesting predicament as a country. And I don't think a lot of people recognize where we are. So they asked her about Trump and Biden, and pretty much her answer was around, they're too old. So she said, do we really want 80-year-olds to continue running America? They're both distracted by their own investigations. So that was her take on it. She also said, quote, we need people who love America, realize your time is gone, and move out of the way and let a new generational leader come in. My question for you, do you agree with that? You may or may not. I hear people say it about Biden, but I never hear people say it about Trump. So very curious. Do you believe that 80 years of age is too old to be running for president? I'd love to hear from you. All right. Next thing was the conversation of pardoning Trump. Will she pardon Trump? And she said under the right circumstances, she will. Now, I actually believe most Republican candidates will absolutely pardon Trump. But the one thing that she did say is that she does not believe that he should automatically get full immunity like he is spouting, and that she believes there should be, if certain factors come into play, then she would pardon him. So it's yes, but. So that was very interesting because I didn't really expect that. Again, I expect, really, if you're a Republican, I expect you to pardon Trump when you come in. Okay. And last but certainly not least, is her take on foreign policy, which, again, I think I mentioned this. That was one of the things that I love about Haley. I love her take on foreign policy as far as her time being spent in the Middle East. And she really leans on her time as UN ambassador. And during the town hall, she criticized Biden for failing to make more aggressive posture towards Iran, saying that Iran is behind both Hamas and Houthis, which is in Yemen. So right now, if you don't know, our world really is, it's an uproar between the Israel-Gaza war, what's happening in Yemen, and then, of course, Russia and Ukraine. So there is a lot currently happening in the world. And our prayer is that we're not headed for World War III. What I can say for sure is that we need a strong leader who can prevent that. We need a strong leader who can prevent World War III. And I think if we had a strong leader at all, the world would not be in the situation that they're in right now. I don't believe we would have the Israel Hamas war happening right now. I don't believe Hamas would have attempted those atrocities in the way that they did if we had a strong leader. I don't believe Iran would be as empowered as they are because America has given Iran money. And I don't believe Russia would have attacked Ukraine when they did. So those are my thoughts. I would love to hear from you. Let me know over on TikTok. I'll have little pieces stitch my videos. Be sure to leave comments here, and maybe we should get, and if you're watching this on YouTube, let me know in the comment section. We need to be sure to get us some Facebook pages and Instagram pages up as well. Listen, guys, it is time for a red revival. Spread the word, because we need to move forward as a country interested in growth as a country, not just one people. Until next time.